It all started on a quiet Thursday morning. I had just returned from a short trip and was catching up on emails in my office suite when my assistant rushed in, eyes wide. "Sir, the HOA is here. They're claiming authority over the office complex." I froze mid-sip of coffee. "HOA claiming authority? Over my offices?" "Yes, sir. They're insisting they can regulate everything, from tenant signs to office hours." I smiled, trying to keep calm. I had faced Karen before, but this time, she had apparently convinced herself she could extend her reach over my entire business property. I grabbed my tablet, pulled up the deed and lease agreements, and calmly walked to the front lobby. Karen was there, clipboard in hand, pacing like she owned the place. "I'm here to ensure compliance," she announced, voice sharp and commanding. "All tenants must follow the HOA rules." Immediately, I raised an eyebrow, keeping my voice measured. "Karen, do you understand what property ownership means?" She smirked. "I know enough to enforce regulations." "Good. Then you should know you have zero authority here," I said. "I own the entire office complex, including all the land it sits on. Every door, every office, every square foot belongs to me. HOA rules do not apply." Her expression faltered for a split second. "Well, I think you're mistaken. I'm allowed—" "Karen," I interrupted. "This is private property. Trespassing is illegal. If you don't leave, I will have to involve law enforcement." Her smirk faded. "You wouldn't dare." I calmly opened my tablet, showing the notarized deed, signed leases, and all relevant ownership documents. Karen's eyes widened, and I could see panic creeping in. She had no idea I truly owned every part of this property. By then, a couple of local police officers had arrived, called by Karen herself, I assumed, thinking she could use them to intimidate me. One officer reviewed the documents I provided. He glanced at Karen. "Ma'am, you're trespassing. This property is privately owned. You cannot enforce HOA rules here." Karen stammered. But I thought I had rights." "Not here," I said calmly, folding my arms. "I own the complex. You are not allowed to interfere with the tenants or the property. If you try, you'll be arrested." The officer nodded, escorted her out, and reminded her that any future attempts to enter without permission would result in charges. Karen left, muttering under her breath, her arrogance shattered. Word of the incident spread quickly among the tenants. They were relieved that I had handled it swiftly. In fact, a few of them jokingly offered to help reinforce the office security system, just in case Karen or any of her cronies tried a repeat performance. Later that week, I received emails from HOA board members, clearly embarrassed by Karen's overreach. They were asking for explanations and trying to smooth over the mess she had caused. I simply responded with the truth. All actions must respect property ownership. HOA authority ends at the property line of privately owned land. Karen never returned to the office complex. In fact, her attempts to spread rumors about her authority were quietly shut down as tenants laughed off her claims. The incident became a classic tale. HOA Karen tried to call the shots over a property she didn't own, and reality, legal ownership, put her in her place. From that day forward, my office complex remained calm, productive, and free of unauthorized inspections. Tenants knew I was not only the owner but fully capable of protecting them from overzealous HOA attempts. And as for Karen, her name became a cautionary tale in the neighborhood. Know your limits, or risk being embarrassed in front of everyone. Peace returned, and my complex continued to thrive, secure, well-managed, and totally immune to HOA interference.